Welcome everybody. My name is Suzanne Wilson and I'm a cousin of Michael's, and this is Brian Goldsbury, one of Michael's brothers. And we've been given the privilege by Michael to take his celebration of life service today. A few housekeeping things. Points to get out of the way. The toilets are at the back of the room. In case of an emergency, please go back out the door that you came in through, and we will meet in the car park over in the corner if necessary. Fingers crossed that doesn't happen. We would also like to welcome those of you who are joining us on Zoom today. Thank you so much for taking the time to be here with us. At the conclusion of this service, we would like to invite you all to share afternoon tea in this room with us, and then to join us in the style that Michael most celebrated, and that is to adjourn to the Warkworth Hotel, where we do have a room set aside for everybody. In many ways, Michael's life has been cut short. However, I am sure many of you will agree that it is also a surprise that he actually lived so long. With a touch of the larrikin in him, he is lucky to have avoided many situations that could have taken him earlier. Passing over to Brian.
Today we've come together because Michael Hamilton Goldsbury has died. And on behalf of his family, Jacqueline, Portia, Paige and Seth, and his brothers Stephen, David and I, we would like to welcome you all to the celebration of my brother's life well lived. And from Jacqueline, she would like to acknowledge and thank all the medical staff who have assisted Michael in his journey, with special mention of Charlene, Michael's cousin, who just so happened to be an oncology nurse who provided invaluable support. Thank you, Charlene. You've been a legend. We also want to thank the Warkworth Hospice. Michael received so much wonderful support and guidance. My brothers and I also want to honour and thank Jacqueline. Through 16 incredibly hard months, she stood beside our brother with unwavering love, strength and devotion. Because of her, and with Portia and Paige, Michael was able to keep living fully, making precious memories and complete most of the things of our bucket list. We are always grateful.
We've come here as family and friends because Michael or Mike or Spike or even Boss, Dad or Uncle Michael has touched our hearts and has a unique personality and a very unique sense of humour. We will spend this time journeying together. And although Michael has gone from our lives, and our lives will never be quite the same again, our journey today may take us through tears, but also laughter, because Michael was a special person to each of us, a person that has impacted our lives, but because we are all richer because of it.
I'd be surprised to know we had a set of instructions to follow. Michael sent them out, not the least of one of those was to celebrate with the life full of laughter, love, happiness, and hence the dress code. And what a sea of colour it is. Thank you guys, much appreciated. For me, one of my favourite sayings has always been, when the great fighter comes to write against your name, he writes not that you win or lose, but how you play the game. And wow, did Michael play the game. We want to thank you all for the wonderful heartfelt comments that were put up on his tribute pages, both in support of Jacqueline and the girls, and what Michael meant to so many of us. 2 years ago, Michael had a game plan and recently bought a boat. We fixed it up and was planning his retirement around boat adventures. But the game was deranged with a cancer diagnosis. But then Mike, as only Mike can do, changed the game plan. And as I can say as his brother, it was incredibly humbling to see him play his last game with so much courage, determination and bravery, along with his beautiful humour, his zest for life and his love for spending time with people who mattered. There was no room for any pity parties.
I would now like to introduce Shona, one of Michael's sisters-in-law. as Michael's spiritual advisor, his words, to share a prayer.
Let us pray. Heavenly Father, we thank you for the life of Michael and the love that he gave so many. In the midst of our grief, bring comfort, peace and strength to us all. We trust him into your loving care and we hold to the hope and grace that's found in the name of Jesus. Amen.
I just got this just in case I need it. They bought me a glass of water, but like Suzanne asked for a warm and I couldn't work out which was the warm one or the cold one, so Michael did say I was allowed to do that. Jacqueline, I remember I had the honour of officiating at your wedding 25 years ago. Today will be a lot harder, but I will do my best to keep it together, but I just can't promise that. I'd like to share with you some of Michael's story. The dash at the front of the Uro service, 1960 to 2026. That dash. This is what it was. He was born in Wakatani, 1960, the youngest of us 4 boys. Mum and Dad were shear milking then in Otakere. 2 years later we moved to Gisborne when they purchased a 5-acre block at Cameron Road. Cameron Road was a haven for us. On our 5 acres we had sheep, pigs, quarter-acre veggie garden and 2,500 laying fowls to look after. It was our playground. And even though we were brought up with caged chickens, Michael was always a free-range rooster. That was our wonderful family home for 33 years. The 4 of us have great memories of growing up there. Michael went to school at Riverdale Primary, Gisborne Intermediate, Lytton High School, just like his big brothers. We had a dad who was a pretty hard taskmaster, but he instilled in us a pretty good work ethic, something Michael finally cottoned onto in his last few years. Horses were one of Dad's passions, and both Michael and David were extremely successful with them. Michael was a bit lazy when he was a young fella, and when David got too old to ride horses, he became Michael's groom. Michael only rode the horses if David would prepare them, brush them, saddle them up. I don't know whether Dad knew that or not, but Michael would ride and take all the glory, and there was a bit of that, but David did all the hard work. Michael's passion wasn't at school either, and so he left around 15. His first job was at the Gisborne City Council, shooting rabbits. And he did that for about 6 months before they fired him because they were shooting more than just rabbits. His passion for surfing started around that time. A magical day for him was surfing for many hours as he could, and then he and his mates would dive back into the water, collect crayfish and paua and cook it on the beach over an open fire. He did wish he'd kept his passion for surfing, but other things got in the way. However, his passion for all water related was huge. His life, water skiing, sailing, boating and snow skiing. It's frozen water if you didn't catch up with that. He then started working for Dalgetty's with Stephen, our oldest brother, who was one of the senior Dalgetty stock agents. Like most jobs back there, he started in the office, but then he progressed to an agent's job in Ruatoria, just north of Gisborne. He loved that posting because they gave him a hold in Kingswood, and he could pick up his surfboard, put it in the back seat, and there was always somewhere to surf on the coast. Stephen told us this week on a good day, Michael would sometimes work all the way to lunchtime before he went surfing. Michael first married when he was 21 to Marie, a girl from Gisborne. As a stock agent, he was moved around a lot, and Michael got sick of being transferred, so he left the stock agent era and came to the insurance industry with me. However, the insurance world didn't really suit him either. So a different lifestyle ensured for Michael. He purchased a motorhome and spent several years touring around, primarily skiing in the South Island, having a really good time with his mates. Although life at this time had some unexpected paths, one beautiful part of his journey was the arrival of his son, Seth. Seth, please know how much Michael valued every visit you had with him, especially since his diagnosis. He was so proud of the man you have become. say that he settled down and took responsibility for his own life. But I give that credit to Jacqueline. It was a young Jacqueline that put everything into their relationships and going along with some pretty wild ideas of Michael's. But she was always up for a challenge. Early in their relationship, life was never boring. They lived in caravans, boats, relocated houses, tin sheds, and a bloody big garage at one stage. Jack was in the building industry and became a rock that let Michael build several businesses, house moving and car yards. At some stage, he went back into a suit job with the car finance industry and did very well. However, working for others was not what he wanted, and again set off to work for himself. Portia says Dad would be the first to admit that he never truly enjoyed working, but he loved the people, but the work was nearly really for him. One exception was his time on Carwell Island, which he never really saw as a job but a home, and a chapter of his life he generally loved. We want to thank Rob and Christelle for the confidence and support they have given Michael over that time. He loved it so much that last year, around November, he asked me to take him back to Carwell for a day. It was a stinking hot day, and I rang him up and said, "Mate, it's hell of a hot, put on some sunscreen." And his answer was typical. He goes, "Shit, yeah, the last thing I want to do is get cancer." And then laughed his head off. His positive attitude never ceased to amaze me. Over the past 30 years, we've spent many family holidays, Christmas holidays in Anara Bay. It was a slice of paradise. Surfing, crayfishing, fishing, diving for power, boating, making plenty of memories. We had a hell of a lot of fun. The mark of a good day at Anara Bay holiday if Michael and I could put a fresh crayfish on everybody's plate at lunchtime. 12 months ago, we took Michael back down to Anara Bay. It was on his bucket list. And all four boys met up for a few days of crayfish, power and fun and laughter, but with a few tears. In 1999, Michael proposed to Jacqueline at their Hendon Ave home, and they were married in 2001 in Te Papa Ardmore. Their next move was to Mount Eden while they were building their brand new home in Tidy Road, Stonefields. This is where both Portia and Paige were born. His daughters brought Michael huge joy, and being a father was the role he treasured most of all. He was so proud of his girls. So many of my conversation with Mike since his diagnosis were to do with Jacqueline and the girls. One of the most significant ventures he did have, when Portia was 4, they rented out Tidy Road and left Auckland in this bloody big caravan and toured the South Island, an experience they'll never forget. After 9 years at Tidy Road, they sold up and purchased a beautiful piece of land at Puka Puka in Maharangi West. After developing their land, they realised that the stage of their life the daughters were at, that lifestyle wouldn't work for them, so they decided to move into Warkworth. Jacqueline and Michael have created a beautiful resort-style home, establishing themselves in the local community and being wonderful neighbours to many in Percy Street. Wherever Michael lived and worked, his larger-than-life personality, his selfless attitude, his positivity impacted those around him. In every season of his life, he made friends, and many of you are here today as a testament to who he was. But at the same time, he was always the boss, the man in charge. Anara Bay, we used to call him the commandant because he organised everybody. He was someone with a huge presence that people naturally followed and gravitated towards. Undoubtedly a life well lived. On a personal note, Michael and I were great mates, and my most special times with him began in 2023. Mike and I spent 6 months together building this huge covered deck at our new place in Hatfields. Mike was the boss, I was the boy. Just the way he liked it. Such a special time for us as brothers, working and laughing, with the occasional argument on how best to proceed. Can't say I ever won any of those. Fly high, my brother, I love you.
Thank you so much, Brian. I would now like to invite Jacqueline, Portia and Paige to come and share their thoughts with you all.
Thank you. see that. Excuse me. Got this. On behalf of myself, Portia and Paige, I would like to thank everyone for love and support and the kindness you've shown our family over the past 18 months. Mike and I had the best life. I always supported Mike through all his crazy adventures, ideas, and big dreams, and there were definitely plenty of them, like living in caravans, boats, and tin sheds. But at the same time, Mike constantly pushed me to grow and become the best version of myself too. We worked side by side through different jobs and businesses for many years, which most couples probably couldn't survive, but somehow that was just us. Mike, thank you for the life we built together and for giving me the two most precious gifts in the world, our daughters. I see a piece of you in our girls every day. Your love and spirit will live on forever.
Seeing so many people here today really shows the impact Dad had on so many lives. It honestly feels surreal standing here because Dad and I actually walked through this room about 6 months ago planning this celebration together, which perfectly sums him up. The organised boss man making sure everything was sorted. More than anything, Dad wanted today to feel full of love, laughter and connection. Even in the hardest chapter of his life, he was still thinking about everyone else first. My dad was truly sunshine in human form. Loud, confident, funny, welcoming, and impossible not to notice. Dad never really entered a room quietly. He had this way of making people feel instantly comfortable and important, whether he'd known you for 5 minutes or 50 years. Dad lived life fully. He took risks, chased adventures, loved deeply, and somehow packed about 10 different lives into 66 years. Dad never did anything halfway, and I think if he wanted us to take one thing from his life, it would simply be to enjoy it, laugh loudly, back yourself, and make memories with the people you love. Dad absolutely prided himself on being a modern dad. And honestly, even though his age definitely suggested otherwise, he really was. He was open-minded, emotionally aware, supportive, and somehow you could talk to about absolutely anything. Although sometimes he definitely shared slightly more information than a daughter probably needed to hear.
Do you want to do it?
Yeah, you're right. Dad was a leader and a boss man, but he also never took life too seriously. This was the same man who put slime on my helmet, thinking it would be funny, and then realised a little too late that it was dripping through the holes and straight into my hair. Thank you, Leslie, our neighbour, for somehow managing to get it out. He'd tow Portia and I on the sea biscuit straight into mangroves and somehow think that made the ride even better. He taught us how to ride motorbikes way too close to cliff edges with absolutely no fear at all. And even taught me how to roller skate, despite not actually knowing how to roller skate himself, upstairs, on wooden floors. Looking back now, some of those moments feel slightly questionable, but that was Dad. Everything became an adventure with him. He made life exciting, chaotic, funny, and full of memories we'll laugh about forever.
Dad faced every part of his cancer journey with incredible strength and bravery. He is the bravest man I've ever known. Even in the darkest moments and right up until his final moments on earth, he never let fear or darkness take over him. He still found ways to smile, make us laugh, and comfort the people around him. And honestly, that strength gave the rest of us strength too. Over the past 16 months, Dad and I have had some really raw and open conversations about life, death, and what comes after. One thing that gave me so much peace was how strongly he believed there was something beyond this life. I remember asking him what sign he would send us so we'd know he was still around, and every single time my very manly, larger-than-life father gave me the exact same answer. He said, "A very beautiful butterfly." Not a moth, he made that very clear. A beautiful butterfly. At first it made me laugh because butterflies didn't feel exactly very dad, but now I actually think it's perfect. Something bright, peaceful, gentle, and full of life, just like him. Dad also wanted me to remind everyone today that although he wishes he could physically be here with all his favourite people, he is still here with us, just in a different way now. Dad, thank you for being my protector, my safe place, my role model, my person, and truly my best friend. Thank you for the laughter, the life lessons, the confidence you gave me, and the way you loved all of us so deeply. I don't know how I'm supposed to do life without you, and honestly, I don't think any amount of time with you would have ever been enough, but I am so unbelievably grateful for the 20 years I got to call you my dad. You taught me how to be strong, how to back myself, how to love people properly, and most importantly, how to find joy in life even when things get hard. I hope one day I can become even half the person you were. I miss our talks, your laugh, your voice, and the way you could somehow make everything feel okay. This is the longest see you later I'll ever have to face, but how lucky am I to have loved you so bloody much that saying goodbye hurts this deeply. You are the brightest light in every room, Dad, and I promise that I'll carry that light with me for the rest of my life. I love you endlessly, and somehow, someday, I know I'll see you again.
Well done. Thank you.
Nailed it.
Give them a clap. If you didn't hear that, they nailed it, right? They nailed it. Thank you. Please welcome. Yeah. Please welcome Michael's nephew, Sean Goldsbury, to do a tribute.
So Portia kicked up some dust up here. I was going to say. It didn't matter what the event, occasion or situation was. Uncle Michael was the life of the party. And if there was no party, he would make a party. One of his real skills was turning sad and awkward situations into fun times for everyone around him. One time, the Narrow Bay campground got flooded during a bad storm. And one of my mum's cousins, Joel, at our end of the beach, said to me, "Did you hear that some of the campers were towing each other on surfboards behind a car and surfing through the paddock?" I said, "Yeah, it was my uncle and his mates." So whatever he was doing, Spike had fun, and he made sure those around him had fun too. And that's why he was so important to our family, wider family, but also a lot of you here today who are work colleagues, friends. It's awesome to have you here. And yeah, and Spike always had a big group of mates, and so I know some of you have been mates with him a long time, and so in particular, Paul and Chris and Matt. I remember you guys when I was a kid, and I'm 48 now, Paul. It's not good for either of us, mate. One of those times Michael made a sad time fun was after the funeral of Grandma 4 years ago. And at the end of the night, all that was left up was the Goldsbury cousins and the overgrown teenager that was Michael. And Michael was in full flight, jokes, laughter, centre of attention, show pony, the whole works. And then he got tired. He was over 60 at this point. And then it changed from the Michael show to the Portia show. I've spent a lot of my life giving Michael grief, and it's like he's raised this little attack hound to come and get me back in vengeance. So in the Goldsbury family, we show love by giving each other a hard time. And boy, did Portia show Michael a lot of love that night. As she was getting stuck into him, he said to her at one point, "Portia, you should be nice to your old father." She said, "What, is Paul here?" She said, "When I was a kid, Paul was around so much that I thought he was my father. I've been wondering who you are." And so a lot of Michael's traits that we all loved were actually Goldsbury traits. So him and his brothers, raised by Grandma and Granddad, you can see a lot of those traits coming through. So Granddad, Ray Baby, was larger than life, loud, big, noise, loved jokes, loved people. And I think all the four boys have inherited that. Every Goldsbury function I've ever been to, even before Portia, was noise and volume and laughter and carrying on, and that's just how Ray Baby was, and that's how all his boys are. And also Grandma, the boys have inherited from her, they're all very generous and kind. As cousins, we sit around and shared stories. All of us in our life have wasted hours of our time helping random strangers that we don't even know because our fathers drove somewhere and saw someone needed a hand, so they stopped and helped out. See, Alice nodding away, yes, Brian, you're one of those. So while there's a lot of similarities, there was also a difference, and Michael was probably the most different. He was younger than his brothers and into his surfing, water skiing, all of those sort of things. Perhaps the best example to show how Michael always did his own thing. I have 2 short lists I'd like to read for you all. The first list is a complete list of everything that I saw in my life, Stephen, Brian and David wear to Goldsbury formal family occasions. Dress pants, dress shirt, suit. Here is a partial list of some of the things that I saw Michael wear to formal Goldsbury family occasions. 501 jeans, ripped jeans, flared jeans, purple jeans, long sleeve shirt, short sleeve shirt, coloured t-shirt, white t-shirt, never tucked in, and boat shoes with no socks. Apart from when he married Jack, the only time I saw him wear a suit was at my cousin Rebecca's wedding. He ordered an $80 suit online from China and nicknamed himself Uncle Timu. In their infinite wisdom, my parents decided to name Michael as a godfather to my sister Sarah, and so he became her spiritual guardian, which went about exactly as well as you'd expect that to go. Thankfully, my sister had Auntie Kath, who's with us today, as her godmother, who looked after both her and Michael. So I think when Sarah thought about Michael, she told me to say that all the stories that we've been telling and you'll hear today are true, mostly true. But there was another side to him as well. So he looked after her, protected her. She felt safe and happy. The phrase she came up with to describe this part of his personality, very fittingly, was surprisingly responsible. So, as an uncle, we learnt a lot from Michael. Sorry, mother. He taught Sarah to ski and to surf and to enjoy the outdoors. He taught my nephew Tanae how to shave because someone needed to do it, so Michael did it. At his old Mount Eden flat, across the road from Eden Park, as a 15-year-old, he taught me that if you lose the drinking game, you go in the pantry with a nice lady and you don't come out until you finish all of your Sambuca shots. As a 14-year-old who loved Metallica, he taught me that they never play Metallica in the pub. If you want to pull girls, you need to listen to Split Enz and Crowded House. That Christmas, I got a great New Zealand rock CD in my Christmas sack, the Split Enz and Crowded House. Thank you, Uncle Michael. So fortunately, I live in Orewa, only 25 minutes away, and so during the last year, 18 months, been able to come up a lot and see Spike, take him for lunch. So Brian and I actually worked with Spike. Granddad loved his 8mm films, so we converted a whole bunch, and the family have seen them. But there's a YouTube channel called Ray and Muriel Goldsbury. It's open to the public, and there's footage of Michael and all the boys from Michael's christening right through to my sister's christening when he was in his 20s. So please feel free to go and have a look. We'll be putting some of the things from today up there too. I think we all know how proud he was of Porsche, the little mini version of him that he's raised to set on all of us. But during those lunches, he was also very proud of Seth and Paige too. He told me very proudly about how Seth was travelling around the world and doing lighting shows and had an awesome career that he would have loved to do if he was a bit smarter, perhaps. He told me very proudly one day that Seth had been asked to do a show for Kendrick Lamar, and he even pretended to know who Kendrick Lamar was. As I would catch up with him, I'd also ask him how the girls were going, and over the last year, Paige has done a huge amount. 1 week, Paige has been doing well at sport, and it was something with netball, something with their singing, there was academic prizes. He'd have that same pride on his face that he did when he talked about Portia and about Seth. One day he told me Portia got top of her maths class, and he was proud but a little bit bewildered, like, how did I raise this amazing human? He said to me, I don't know where that came from. And I said, I do, Michael. It's the same as every Goldsbury child that excels academically. It's because we get some of our mother's genes as well. I think just the last story from me I wanted to share, a memory that Spike and I shared. So we did Christmas lunch at the Warkworth Hotel, where we're going now, and we actually had a common memory that we'd forgotten, and so we'd never told anyone about this. So and we remembered one Christmas we went back to Gisborne and to see Grandma when she was in her Aberdeen Roadhouse. And it was just Mike and Grandma and I, and we had a morning tea and had a great time, and I was asking Grandma about family history, as I did, always been very interested. And Grandma said to Michael and I, look, there's a bit of the family story gets mixed up. So what I got you to here, I just want to make one thing really clear. It's really important to me, Michael and Sean, that you know that Michael is the favourite child and Sean is the favourite grandchild. See, I'm talking about my grandmother, hold on. She said, they all think it's Stephen, but you're the baby, Michael, you're my favourite, you always have been. She said, you thought Claire was a favourite. I was just trying to keep Brian and Shona happy. She said, my favourites have always been Michael and Sean, and that's our story, and we're sticking to it.
Well done. Thank you so much, Sean. I'm sure you'll be challenged later by a few cousins. We would now like to share a video provided to us by Grant Bailey, another one of Michael's cousins, who couldn't be with us today, so recorded something for him.
Hello everyone. For those of you that don't know us, I'm Grant Bailey and this is my wife Claire. Spike's first cousin and very close mate. It breaks our heart to be speaking with you today, especially as Claire and I can't be there with you all in person. Firstly, I want to speak to Jacqueline and Paige and Portia. This has been an incredibly difficult time for you all, but like everything, every strong family, you have stood together and supported one another and shown tremendous strength. Spike will be immensely proud of each of you. Please know that Claire and I, along with everyone else here today, are here for you 100% moving forward. I also want to acknowledge my cousins, Spike's brothers, Stephen, Brian and David. Growing up along you, side you boys shaped a huge part of who I am today. The laughter, the adventures and the good times, the memories I will always treasure. Those moments will continue to live on, even with the enormous void Spike has left in all our lives. A special acknowledgement must also go to my sister, Charlene. Not only was she a loving cousin to Spike, but through living in Warkworth and providing decades of specialist care, she gave Jacqueline, Spike and the girls unwavering support, guidance, commitment right through to the end. Charlene, thank you. You truly are a star. Being an open mic session, I'm sure many of you had many hours of countless memories running through your minds over the past few days. It's incredible just how many stories and moments we can all share about Spike. The good times with Spike were endless. Whenever we were together, we just clicked. He was my right-hand party man, and for many years. We partied together, we stayed together, we hung out together, and there was never a dull moment. I'll never forget the Sunday sessions at Pine Street, where Spike would make us ride a 10-speed bike around in circles in his backyard, and then blindfold us and make us do it all again, usually ending up with someone crashing into a hedge or a fence or a parked car. Or the times he challenged us to find a cardboard box and race us to the ferry to head over to Devonport and spend the day sliding down grassy hills. There was never any sitting around when Spike was involved. There are two stories I'd like to share that perfectly capture how Spike was wired. So the first story is one night we were all on the chop in Auckland Central. We were walking up Queen Street and there was Councillor Murray, myself, Spike and a bunch of other people. And I don't know what we were celebrating, but we were well on our way. There were a couple of dancers standing on the sidewalk in Queen Street, giving out brochures to their strip club. And Spike had a good chat to them, and we carried on, and he turned around and yelled out, "Shasha!" And she said, "We'll see you at the club." With that, he put the brochure in his back pocket. We rolled around the corner and into the next bar. It was this dark, dingy bar full of mongrels, and Spike straight to the bar, on straight to the bar. A few minutes later, I turned around. His cats were getting in a bit of a rumble. There were buttons popping and their chests pumping. And I'm at cop at the time, so I thought this, and I'm straight into their back. Cats were up. And that wasn't working until we were going to get our asses kicked for sure. And then Spike comes steering across, singing "Happy Birthday." Happy birthday to you! Happy birthday to you! He's singing Mr. Casper. And the shoulders of these big burly dudes just relaxed, and they realised it was this guy's birthday, and Spike's getting into the, "Oh, it's his birthday, come on, leave him alone." And we slowly weasel our way out of there. I don't know how the hell Spike pulled that shit off. As we crossed the road, the lights turned green for the traffic, but it just so happened to be a black hand-painted Zephyr full of mongrel mob members, and they were all banging their arms on the side of the car, yelling at us. Spike turns around, walks up to their car, takes that fly for the strip club out of his pocket, and pops it under their windscreen wiper and starts laughing at it. He used to laugh. And I loved it, and the mongrels loved it. Always came to the rescue. Another one, the second story was we'd been staying in Queenstown for a week. We were at the Queenstown airport. Everyone's ready to board, and then ding dong, and our flight was cancelled, and the whole room, thousands of people went, "Oh no," everyone's angry and frustrated. Not our flight. He stood up on the couch and he's jumping up and down on the couch saying, "Yeah, cancel." And that was a bad shoot towards everything. Everyone those days, no cell phones of course, had to queue up at the Air New Zealand counter to get their booking sorted for the next day. Lot's like, he goes, "Come with me." We go over to the Hertz Rental department, he charms the lady there, goes, "Can we borrow your phone and phone book, please?" He rings Air New Zealand. I watch the lady at the counter answer the phone. He hangs up. We walk out. We're the first to the taxi rank. We're the first admin down. And we're first to have another flight share. And he certainly knew how to solve the problems. He had the remarkable ability to take charge of situations he realistically had no control over. Spike, full of energy, full of life, always looking after his friends and family. Spike was a sensational man and such a significant part of our lives. I'll miss him every single day. Finally, because Claire and I can't be there today with you all, and knowing there will be a few cold ones shared later, I'd like to propose the first toast, Spike's toast. For those of you that know, I'm inviting you to stand with me and hear and join and maybe respond by replacing one of the words with "ha." And have a great day, and we will be thinking about you all.
Hold your set off the shots. Clear.
Here's to you, and here's to me.
Here's to friends will always be. We'll try to disagree, we'll hug you, and here's to me.
Oh, that baby brother of mine. Those boys have the same grandparents. Thank you. Now we would like to share another instruction from Michael. He really wanted us to invite those of you who would like to speak to say a few words. He just said to make sure that you know he preferred a short yarn, so 2 minutes as per Michael's rules. If anybody would like to have a few words, please come and join us.
Don't be shy, he wasn't.
Yeah. Well, I'd like to invite Alice. Thanks, Alice.
I offered to get the ball rolling on behalf of our family. I am a Goldsbury, so I love a good show, and we've certainly, you girls were amazing. That was incredible, a wonderful time to celebrate. My uncle. When I thought of what to say about him, I actually was captivated by things that have been said. I've had the honour of having my children experience all that Uncle Michael has, and my now 4-year-old Brooke would always get excited whenever Uncle Michael showed up at our place. A lot of the time it was loud, it was with a digger, and she would stand up by the window and scream, "Michael, Michael's here! Michael, Michael's here!" Now, some people are famous and they're known by one name. It felt really fitting to me that a 3-year-old could see someone was so much larger than life that they deserved their name to be said twice. The other thing that was said was actually a conversation that I had with Uncle Michael as he was talking about being diagnosed and how he was going to live out his life. And he said to me, "I think I've got some apologising to do to some people." And that, to me, was a little bit of a contrast to the uncle I knew, because to me, he always lived so unapologetically himself. He was never trying to impress anyone or to put on a show as it seems for his own glory or self-righteousness. He just was incredibly humble. He was incredibly able to just live his life being who he was and living the life he wanted to live. He was unapologetically himself. And the last thing that was said was by my daughter Blake this very week, as I sat her down and told her that Uncle Michael had passed away. And her first response to that was, "He's never going to be a grandpop." Now, I thought that was incredibly intelligent for a 5-year-old to be able to identify. And as you can see, us grandchildren are incredibly, incredibly intelligent and also very humble. But it's high praise from a 5-year-old to see that someone loves their daughters, their nieces, their nephews, people so well that he would have been an incredible grandpop. He was an incredible uncle, he was an incredible man, and I am so blessed to have known him.
Thank you so much, Alice. If there's no one else that would like to speak, then I'll pass over to you, Brian.
Yeah, let's find out where we're up to. I'd like to invite Paul Murray up to speak. Paul has been one of Mike's best mates for over 30 years. After Mike's diagnosis, Paul wanted to write him something, and he wrote a couple of letters and he threw them away. And in the middle of the night he woke up and he penned this poem for Mike in less than 30 minutes. So Paul.
Better take those with me. Well, Michael, you always like to be the centre of attention. You've got a lot of attention here today. Good on you, mate. Yeah, I felt it was important to tell Michael what he meant to me. And I wanted to be able to tell him in person rather than waiting for today and telling all his friends and family in this room today. It kind of came to me, as Brian said, in the middle of the night. For those of you that don't know me, I've had a fairly nautical background, fairly big love for sailing, and I've done a lot of it in my life. I would go overseas for long periods of time and come back, and it was like I never left with Mike. And I always looked forward to coming home to see him. So I penned this poem. The time was there, it was always right, to open up and cast some light, but the words, they never came. I guess I was just too busy playing in life's fickle little game. The time is here, the time is now, to share before you go. There is something hidden in my heart that you really need to know. Where's the whiskey? Just joking. You stand atop a solid rock. I never felt alone. Your beam of light in the darkest night to always guide me home. Friends like you, so rare, so few, I say without a pause. Your guidance and your patience to help me steer my course. Your ray of light that shines so bright, no storm will ever hide. You stand by me, I'll stand by you during life's receding tide. It's near my time to sail alone, the destination only revealed by time. No matter where my course is set, your light will always shine. In stormy seas, I feel at ease. I could not have asked for more. My friend, my brother, you are like no other. You are my lighthouse on the shore.
Nailed it. So this poem that he did has been up in Michael's room, and when we were talking about preparing this, Shona said, I've got a story that maybe you could say, and Portia goes, no, we've got this. And so this is one of Michael's special things. I'd just like to draw your attention to Portia's work of art. On the front page down the bottom is Anara Bay. So that island, if you ever find it's where the crayfish are. And I hope you never find it. It's been a slice of paradise for us. We have a number of friends who come. One of the beauties of it 30 years ago is there was no cell phone coverage and we could hide. In this photo with Michael on the yacht is Kawa Island behind him. And on the front you've heard the story of the butterfly. And on the back on the bottom corner is a tui. And the tui sat outside Michael's room in his final hours. So Portia, thank you so much.
Thanks. And apparently your friend Janelle helped us, created it. Thanks, Janelle. Well done, thank you, Paul. And now as we move into the next part of today's service, we ask you to take a few quiet moments to reflect and remember and enjoy this photo tribute over the next 7 or 8 minutes. I think he could give Tom Cruise a run for his money. So a few closing words. Catch your breath, everyone. Thank you very much for standing. The truth is, people like Michael don't really disappear. He will live on in our stories, retold around the dinner table, in his sayings that we repeat, in songs, in all of the memories, and in the parts of ourselves he helped shape. So as we leave today, perhaps the best way to honour Michael is, as Portia said, definitely not in silence, but living a little bigger, laughing loudly, backing yourself, saying what you mean, showing up for people, and making memories. Because Michael certainly did all of this and more. Thank you, Michael. You are definitely one of a kind. So please stand to send him on his journey with an enormous round of applause to celebrate who he was. And thank you so much. It is time to join in our afternoon tea, and I'll ask you to please make room for this to be set up at the back of this room. And during the time of afternoon tea, please feel free to sprinkle some petals around Michael's urn. Please take hugs with people beside you.
Everybody's wearing blue jeans. Everybody's got their own scene. Everybody's lost in daydreams. But everybody's wearing blue jeans. Everybody's wearing blue jeans. Everybody's got their own schemes. Everybody cheers their own teams. But everybody's wearing blue jeans. We're all reading the same books. We're all getting the same looks. Everybody's got their own views. Really coming together. But we're all reading the same news. Everybody's wearing blue jeans. Everybody's got their own scenes. Everybody's lost in daydreams. But everybody's wearing blue jeans. I'm singing in my own band. I'm trying to play the right hand. I'm living by my own means. And I'm wearing my blue jeans. Everybody's wearing blue jeans. Everybody's got their own scenes. Everybody's lost in daydreams. But everybody's wearing blue jeans. Blue jeans.
It's been bugging me. I vaguely seem to recognize your face. It's been haunting me. I can't quite recollect the time or place. You seem familiar. You seem so close. I wonder on a lonely night like this, who loves you the most? Who loves you the most? Who loves you the most? It's just cutting me. Was it you who told me that you loved me a week ago? 'Cause it's tearing me in two, tearing me in two. wonder on a lonely night like this, who loves you the most? 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 Who loves who the most? Who loves who the most? I walked down, you left me. You know I'm hurting for you. It seems now that it's over, but there is nothing I can do. I don't know what is love. Do this to me. I don't know. I don't know. Jackie came, she went away deep in the valley. I kissed her that day, but it seems I'm thinking of you. But I'm still thinking about myself. I don't know what is love. Do this to me. I don't know what is love. Do this to me. I don't know. I don't know. I miss you, you know that. But when I see you sometimes, I'm cut off, yeah.